Hi, welcome back to my channel, or a very warm welcome if you're new here. My name's Sophie, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you all of the books that I hauled in February. And there are a lot. I have honestly been trying to haul less books, but for some reason I have 20 books that I hauled in February. So this is part of the pile of shame. So yeah, there's a lot, and I'm going to show you all of the books in this video. And to make myself feel better, I do have books that were given to me by a publisher, which is great. I also have a charity book haul, and also some of the books I didn't actually purchase this year. I bought them last year and they've only just arrived. So yeah, there aren't that many books. At least I can lie to myself and feel better that way. But I think I am really going to have to consider if I should go on a book buying ban. I don't really like book buying bans because obviously I like buying books, but I think we may have got to crisis point. So I'm going to have a think and see if I do a ban, or maybe I set a little bit more strict parameters for myself for purchasing books. So I will break these books up into different sections. So I'll do it by how I actually haul these books. So I'm going to split it into books I got from the publisher, books that I got from FairyLoot, books that I got from Waterstones, and then charity shop haul, and just then the rest of the books that I hauled from various other places. So up first I will start with the largest stack, and that is books that I haul from Waterstones, and actually all of these are pre-orders that I had ordered, so these are a lot of my anticipated releases for 2026. So up first is one of my most anticipated releases for 2026, and this is The Sun and the Starmaker by Rachel Griffin, and I've read all of Rachel Griffin's other books and loved them. A few of them have been 5 stars, so I am really anticipating this one being a really great read. I also love this cover, but I was a little bit disappointed because I did think that it was the sprayed edge edition that I've seen around, but I think that is only available in the US. So I will try and get hold of a copy of that because that just looks stunning. And then I'll decide if I keep both copies. But that is only if I can actually get hold of that book. So this is set in a small mountain town called Reverie. It's snowy, it's very small, it's in the middle of nowhere, and they don't have any light. There is also a Starmaker who is responsible for making sure that the sunlight reaches the villagers in this snowy town. Then we have our main character, who is Aurora Finch, and she has grown up on stories about magic and the Starmaker. And the Starmaker soon realises that she has magic of her own that needs to be harnessed, so he invites her to come and study with him to learn how to use her magic. She ends up being swept away to his ice-covered castle and away from everything she knew. And the Starmaker is very cold and distant, but soon Aurora and the Starmaker are pulled closer together. So this story feels quite fairy tale-esque. It feels like it's got elements of kind of the Ice Queen, a little bit of Beauty and the Beast, and feels a little bit like Frozen. So I think I'm really going to enjoy it. And based on my experience with this author, I'm pretty sure that I am going to really love this one. And actually Rachel Griffin, she did suffer from a concussion, I think a couple of years ago, so it's taken her a while to come back to writing, to actually be able to write. So the fact that she has now published another novel is just amazing. And yeah, I'm really excited about this one. So next I have a sequel to one of my favourite books of, I think it must be 2024, and that was The Bell Witches by Lindsey Kelk. So the sequel is The Witch and the Wolf, and this is a really stunning edition. So yeah, this is the Waterstone Special Edition, and I'm loving this cover. These sprayed edges are just absolutely stunning. And yeah, so The Bell Witches was a 5-star read. I really enjoyed it. So this is set in Savannah in the US, and it follows our main character, Emily Bell. And after her father dies in a tragic accident, she is forced to go and move to Savannah with her grandmother and her only living relatives. and she soon discovers that there are secrets about this family, and she starts to uncover those. Also, she starts a romance with Wyn, who is this mysterious young guy. And I loved the first book. I loved the setting and the vibe, and Lindsey Kelk is generally a romance writer, and this is her first YA fantasy series, but she is such an amazing writer, and she's done such great things with her first book, and I'm really excited to see how this story continues. And this series feels very reminiscent of past YA fantasy series, so it feels like Twilight, Beautiful Creatures, The Vampire Diaries, those kind of vibes, and I love the setting of this. So I would highly recommend this if you are looking for a fantasy series to get into. And then the next book is actually not a Waterstones book, it's a Locked Library book, but I wanted to keep this together because it is actually also The Witch and the Wolf. Yes, I know it's 2 copies of the same book, but I had received the first book in the Locked Library subscription, and I also purchased the Waterstones of the first one, and I really couldn't decide which edition I prefer. They're both beautiful, and the same can be said about these. So yeah, I do think I prefer the wolf being on the cover from the Waterstones, just because it's called The Witch and the Wolf. But still, yeah, I love this colour scheme as well. And there are again some stunning sprayed edges. Those bees are gorgeous. And yeah, I really couldn't decide which one I liked best. So yeah, I've got 2 editions. But yeah, this one is very pretty. And we also have this bee on the cover. And yeah, I love the orange cover. And as with all Locked Library, it does also have the key detail as well. So yeah, I am really excited to see how this story continues. And I'm not sure if this is a duology. I think it might actually be a trilogy. So yeah, I can't wait to read it. So next up, I have A Dark Forgetting by Kristen Ciccarelli, and she is author of The Crimson Moth, which again is another book that I absolutely loved. So I'm really excited to read this. This is again a beautiful edition with these lovely sprayed edges. And I think this book was actually released several years ago, or written several years ago, but after the popularity of The Crimson Moth, it has now been published again. So I'm not really sure what the story follows. I think it's set in some kind of woods, and there's a song that draws our main character into the woods. And then there's the Wood King, and I think he draws her into the forest. And yeah, it's got that kind of vibe. So yeah, a little bit of a fairy tale, I think. Then I have Cleopatra by Saara El-Arifi, and I'm really excited about this one. So again, this is a stunning edition from Waterstones. They are really knocking it out of the park right now. I think they really do rival the book boxes right now. And there's some beautiful fig detail here as well. I love the colours of this. And I actually haven't looked at the hardback because I didn't think there was any customizations, but this, oh, she's stunning. And yeah, I can't wait to read this. So this retells the story of Cleopatra. I think it's probably going to address some more of the myths that surround her. I know she was a real figure, but I think a lot about her is kind of mythology. So yeah, it feels like it will be similar to mythology retellings. So yeah, the tagline is, "You know my name, but you do not know me." So yeah, I am looking forward to reading this one and hoping to find out more about Cleopatra. And yeah, I think it will focus on a lot of the myths of witchcraft as well, which I'm looking forward to. I did read Direbound by Saara El-Arifi and did enjoy it, so I'm hoping that I will really enjoy this one too. And the last book from Waterstones is A Stage Set for Villains by Shannon J. Spann. And this has been described as being similar to The Night Circus, which is a book that I absolutely adored. And also it says here, Caraval meets One Dark Window in this lush and dark fantasy. So this is a fantasy book, and I believe it is kind of set in some kind of either circus or playhouse or theatre or something, that kind of setting. And there's dark, sinister secrets to uncover. and it's described as a dark fantasy, so I'm really excited about this. And this is a debut author. Again, we have a stunning edition with these beautiful flamey sprayed edges. But yeah, I was drawn to this one really because of the Night Circus vibes, so I'm hoping to really enjoy this. And there's also some stunning end papers here. And I have heard really good things about it. Next, I'll move on to the books that I hauled at various shops over the last month. And I have a real kind of mix here. So we have some classics. So I've got The Legend of Sleepy Hollow by Washington Irving. And this, I just love this edition. It's a really small little compact hardback. I love the black and the silver. And we've also got some silver gilded edges, which are nice. And yeah, the paper is really lovely too. So yeah, this is a book that I haven't read, but I'm really interested in this Legend of Sleepy Hollow, so I would like to read that, but I will probably be saving this for spooky season. And then I also have a matching edition of Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I love this book, and I thought these editions were just beautiful. So these are, let me find out what editions they are. Arcturus editions, and they did also have a copy of Dracula, but it was damaged, so this was from TK Maxx. They have quite a good selection of books and nice special editions at reduced prices. So yeah, there are others in this series, so I might try and collect these, but I think they're really cute little hardbacks to have on the shelf. And then also from TK Maxx, I've got Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. So I'm not so much into Jane Austen, although I have read some of her novels, but this is the one that I'm mainly interested in, as it's supposed to be a parody of the Gothic novel, and I love Gothic classics, so I'm really interested to see Jane Austen's kind of take and her parodying this genre. I think it sounds really good. And this is actually a really pretty edition. Page Classics. And then I have a sequel to a book that I haven't yet read, but this is The Things Gods Break by Abigail Owen. So I did haul The Games Gods Play by Abigail Owen, and it's kind of a mythology, fantasy retelling with the gods from Greek mythology, and it sounded really interesting. And I did actually want to pick up both book 1 and book 2 at the same time from Forbidden Planet, but they only had book 1 when I went back to get it, and so I did manage to find this on a visit to Bristol and Forbidden Planet there, and they had 1 copy remaining and it was reduced, and yeah, it just felt like I was meant to have it. And yeah, I am really trying to avoid buying books if I haven't read the first book in the series, but I have found a lot of time in the past that a book that I think I'm going to love, I do love, and then I've only picked up the first book and it's very difficult to get hold of the special edition of the next book. So yeah, I thought I wouldn't risk that. And I think I will probably like this series. But yeah, stunning sprayed edges and really beautiful artwork in this as well. So yeah, I'm not really sure the exact story, and obviously if I read this I'll spoil the first book, but I think it has Hades in it. And yeah, I am really interested in mythology at the moment. This is a little bit more fantastical, so not a mythology retelling, but yeah, I love anything Greek mythology adjacent at the moment, so I'm excited to read this one. But I'll have to read the first book first, and then what I've been doing with series a lot now is reading them all in one go. So yeah, I'll probably read book 1 and then book 2 straight after. And then I have my charity book haul. So I don't normally buy books from charity shops, and it's nothing against buying secondhand books. I actually think it's great to buy secondhand books. I do just generally quite like the hardbacks, special editions, and of course you can't really guarantee what books you're going to get in the charity shop. But I was actually really surprised with the books that I found in the charity shop, because there's some quite good ones here. So one is The 12 Days of Christmas by Susan Stokes-Chapman. And yeah, this is a festive book, so we're past the festive period now. But this was actually a book that was released at the end of last year, and I was really excited to pick this one up. but I never got it, and I managed to find this for, I think it was £2 in the charity shop, and this should have retailed at £16.99, so I couldn't miss out on this one. So I got it, and I'll probably read this in the festive season, so yeah, not for a long while yet. But I think these are just different festive tales. I'm not sure if they're short stories or if they're interlinked, but yeah, I will find out when I read it in the festive period. And then I've got a paperback copy of Weyward by Emilia Hart, and this was one of my favourite witchy books. This was a 5-star read. And after I reread Wuthering Heights in February, I decided that I actually quite like annotating books, and I thought that I would like to do it with some of my favourite books, but I'm not going to do it in my special editions, and I don't want to buy brand new paperbacks just to do it, so I'm going to try and get them from charity shops. And I managed to find this one for £1, I think, so that was very good. And yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this again at some point. I don't know when that will be though. And the final book from the charity shop haul is actually a non-fiction which I have been looking forward to picking up for a long time. It's been on my books I would like to buy list, and this is Women Who Run with the Wolves, and this is by Clarissa Pinkola Estes, and it says Contacting the Power of the Wild Woman. And I'm not entirely sure exactly what it covers, but I have heard that it's a book that all women should read at one point in their lifetime. And yeah, on the back it says it's a seminal work on the inner life of women, a creation of poetry and power. It began a revolution and continues to transform the lives of millions around the world. So yeah, I am excited to read this. I was actually really delighted to receive books from the publisher in February. I haven't received a lot in the past. I've joined quite a few influencer programs through publishers and have finally started receiving some books, which is really exciting. And yeah, I'm really grateful to have received these. So up first, I have Honey in the Wound by Ying-Yuan Han, and this is a proof copy, and this is from Manila Press, so thank you to Manila Press, and this is out in April of this year. So I will probably be reading this in March. I just need to check what date it releases. But yeah, I need to read it before it gets released, and then I can leave a review. And this sounded really interesting. So it's a multi-generational epic spanning a century of Korean history, following a lineage of mysteriously gifted women confronting the brutality of Japanese imperialism. So yeah, it's not really my normal kind of book that I read, but it is a type of book that I am quite interested in reading. So yeah, I'll see how that one goes. And then another proof is called A Little Bit Bad, and this is by Cassandra Nayanench. I hope I pronounced that right. And this was from Penguin, and this will be out in June 2026. So it says here, Big Swiss meets All Fours in this dazzling, wild, darkly funny debut about desire and obsession, motherhood and marriage, and the irresistible intoxication of being a little bit bad. That sounds really interesting. So yeah, again, I will probably read this around, so yeah, it comes out the 4th of June. So I will be reading it probably around May. But yeah, sounds really interesting. And then I was also gifted a couple of finished books, and these are non-fiction, and these were from Bonnier Books, so thank you to them for sending these. And yeah, these felt like they came at the right time for me. I've been feeling a bit down and mentally not my best, so the fact that these books came, I think they were a big sign. So one is How to Find Flow, and this is by Dr. Cameron Norsworthy, aka the Flow Coach. And this is 3 Steps for High Performance and Deep Resilience. So yeah, I don't tend to read a lot of non-fiction, but when I do really like books about habits and changing your lifestyle and thinking about how to be more productive and live in a way where you can find happiness. And this really spoke to me. So on the back it says, how overthinking can cannibalize your success. I am a big overthinker. Clear strategies for bouncing back from setbacks. I've had a few setbacks in the last year or so. And how to direct your thoughts and emotions towards flow. So yeah, this feels like the perfect time to read this book. And then a similar kind of book, another non-fiction, is The Way of Excellence, a guide to true greatness and deep satisfaction in a chaotic world. And this is by Brad Stulberg. And again, this feels like it's come at the right time. It says on the back, are the conveniences and distractions of modern life undermining your personal growth and ability to realise your true potential? Yes, I think so. So yeah, I am looking forward to reading these. I'm not really in a non-fiction mood at the moment, but when I am, I will definitely pick these up. And then the final part of this video is the books that I hauled from FairyLoot outside of the monthly subscriptions. So we've got a couple of sequels and also one book, which is a very popular book and I'm quite excited to read. So up first we have Brigands and Bread Knives by Travis Baldry, and this is not a direct sequel to Legends and Lattes, but it is set in that universe, and I think we follow Fern in this one, who is a bookseller, and I think she's got a bit fed up of her boring life, and she ends up going to the city of Thune, which is in this universe, which is where Viv opened up her coffee shop in Legends and Lattes. So I'm thinking there will be some mention of other characters. I'm not sure of the exact plot, but I think it will be very similar to the other books, very cozy vibes, and yeah, I'm excited to read this. And next is a sequel to a book that I enjoyed. I can't remember if it was last year or the year before now, but yeah, this is A Language of Dragons by S.F. Williamson, and it was, yeah, a dragon fantasy set in 1920s London, and you can study dragon languages at university. And as somebody who has studied languages and loves different languages, I was really intrigued by the concept, and then that paired with dragons I thought was amazing. So yeah, it was a really good book. It wasn't quite a 5-star read for me, but yeah, it was a high 4-star, so I was really excited to pick up the sequel. And yeah, I wanted the matching edition. So this is A War of Wyverns by S.F. Williamson, and yeah, I'm thinking that this is gonna continue from book 1. And yeah, I'm not really sure what happens, but all I know is it says the sky is dark and full of dragons. So I'm hoping for more dragons in here and more exploration of the world that this is set in. And yeah, I think this is such a beautiful edition. I'm loving this color scheme and those edges. And yeah, it's just gonna look beautiful next to the first book. And yeah, there are some other customizations as well. So the really lovely naked hardback, and then some character art in there as well, different on that side. And then the reverse dust jacket as well, which isn't the original cover, it is original artwork, which I think is beautiful. And then the final book in this haul is, as I said, a very popular romantasy book, and this is a really beautiful edition, and this is Dire Bound by Sable Sorensen. So I don't know a lot about this. I do know that I was intrigued by the concept. So I think it's about elite warriors who bond with dire wolves, and yeah, I'm expecting romance, battles, kind of like an epic fantasy style. And this is probably one of the most beautiful FairyLoot editions that I own. So yeah, I love this cover. And then these beautiful edges here. And then again, a lovely naked hardcover, front and the back, and some beautiful artwork. That is stunning. And then a reverse dust jacket, which has the original cover in purple and blue. And yeah, that's beautiful. And I'm really excited to read this one. I hope that it does live up to the hype. I know it is quite hyped. So I think there is also a sequel coming out soon, so I need to get on and read that. But yeah, that is all of the books that I hauled in February. So yeah, a lot more than I planned. So do let me know in the comments if any of these books are on your radar and if there's any of the special editions that you particularly liked. Thanks for watching. Do give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and also do subscribe to my channel for more of my content. And I will see you next time. Bye.